gotten a lot cooler here. And I say a lot cooler. It's still gonna be 90 today, but it's cooler at night. It's down to like 70. Really nice out. I'm gonna pop the hatch open. And one of the things that we're gonna take advantage of today is the ability to do a little outside work, a little inside work. We've got a mix of things to do. Oh, I put the trash out. We can do that here. I don't usually. Morning, you awake yet?
I'm pretty tired, so it's a little early to have the hatch open.
Oh, it's great though. It's like 70 out.
Feels humid, but yeah, let's
smidge humid, not too bad.
Yeah. Woo. Yes. Coffee in my face instead of on the floor is always a better start to the day.
So when we first got this Airstream months and months ago, we were able to mount the display up here using the existing mount that we found on the old TV. And at this point, because Shauna needs a standing desk, we need to make a monitor mount work to go 90 degrees out. And so we're gonna tackle this project today. But ultimately the goal is to install an articulating mount for the display that will swing out and not catch and damage the Tommy Bahama blinds, but will work in this configuration and also back in this configuration. So it's gonna be a bit of a puzzle today, but we're gonna get it figured out. Raise this up, it'll come off.
That's so scary.
It's a little scary, yes. But it's big, but it's not heavy, so.
Yeah, that's a 32-inch display. We need to unplug.
Yep.
Do you need hands? Or you got it?
I've got it. I think I've got it.
Careful. I'm gonna hit the screen.
All right, let's see this new arm.
We'll just put it here for safekeeping for now. And Andrew and I are going to start trying to test fit some stuff. I need cord management in a way that I can't even express.
Yeah, from over there to over here, we need to kind of deal with cords.
But today, to start the day, we're gonna start with the display mount.
Looks like we've got all the bolt pattern holes we need to be able to mount this to the back of the display, so that part of it should be straightforward. This is what came in our Airstream. We assume it's original. It's got this little locking thing, but it would basically drop in on 2 pegs. Very straightforward, fixed display. Also, if anybody's wondering how your Airstream thermostat knows what the temperature is, that's this right here. Just gonna take these instructions and use them as a placemat over here. That's why they provide them. So it keeps things from getting scratched.
You're gonna need me to read those, and I'm gonna have to like pick up.
It's fine. I like to get everything laid out here so I can figure stuff out, but I can tell you straight away we're gonna put these back in the box. They're like the bat wings for a giant TV, so that they spread the mount even further on the back of it. We don't need these. Shauna's just removing some screws so we can start to figure out exactly how this is gonna go.
Have little washers on them too. We need to be mindful not to lose them. Seat like that, and then the screws are going to go in. Do you want me to put those screws in now so we can kind of see
maybe just one
where the plate is going to go? Okay.
I should have marked this before I took the display down, but based on measurements, I just want to have a rough estimate of where the old top was with this mount, and at about 7 inches up, there it is. So I'm going to try to replicate that. We think that's the right area. More on that in a minute. I have decided I'm going to go grab a wrench to be able to loosen the nuts on this to get it to articulate a little more freely.
Oh, I don't like that idea because we drive the loosen naturally. Before you do that, open that drawer right below you where we keep the metal dishes.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
The No Locks folks, this isn't sponsored, but they gave us this when we first got the Tommy. We bumped into them in Florida.
Yep.
See how easy these are? It's because of that No Locks. I keep it handy in with my dishes. So anytime something is tough, oh, that one needs a little love, but yeah, it's amazing stuff. I love that tip. It gives you control.
Yeah, I'm just trying to feed a little bit down beside the washers. What I've got marked here is Shauna's kind of approximate eye level height, and then I've got the old top of the monitors, essentially the bottom edge of this tape. So I think I'm gonna aim to try to have the monitor exactly how the old height was.
Well, also, according to the internet, we have like a 1 to 3 inch play there, lower, not higher.
Yep.
But hopefully this all comes together. Yay!
I'm excited.
I am too.
I've removed the antenna outlet just to show that we've got 1/2 inch plywood here, which is pretty structurally sound to be able to mount this display. So I still haven't decided if I'm going to use this plate as it is or modify it, but the wood that I'm working with behind here will take the modifications and it will support this display on an arm. I'm pretty confident.
I am very excited about this project. I really hope that it doesn't look, what's the phrase? Lovingly DIY'd. I'd like it to look more stock and slick if possible, but that may be a skills up level that we just don't have. We may need trim pieces or tools or stuff. So hopefully, I'm so excited that it comes together and it just looks primo. I desperately wish this was in the bedroom. I desperately wish that was in the bedroom because that's where I need to be more comfortable. The whole coach could be slightly warmer, but when I'm sleeping, I would prefer it to be cool in the back. All right, so that's the idea for the work day. And that's the driving position and the storage position and the weekend position. I see.
I've encountered a small hiccup here that we're gonna have to make adjustments for. If I put this up and I center it on the block, it's a bit hard to see because it's just a thin wire, but the wire stay for the blinds, it's right here in the way, even with the end of the window knob. I've got to adjust for that. This is where the problem arises, and it's a bit hard to understand in 3 dimensions, but if I mount this centered on this block, it's too close to the wall and it will hit the cable. If I bring it this way, then I have to change the way the TV's mounted, because if I bring it into the room, when we park the TV back over here, it's going to be out too far past the fridge. So there's a couple things I need to solve with the geometry here.
It's starting to get warm in here. I think we should close the back and I'll fire up the air.
Yeah, the sun's coming in and the humidity's building, so it was nice.
I think we'll be more comfortable if we just stay cool. This is a mentally challenging puzzle, and I want to make sure that, we are as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, all right, let me get to that.
All right. Screen. Wait, screen.
Ooh. Good warning, thank you.
You gotta put some mustard on it once you get it up, otherwise it won't seat. See? Nope.
Tentatively, I think this will work right here. What we're gonna do is, the only modification I have to make is this block. I'm gonna cut it in half and stack it to match the shape here. But that's the only modification I'm gonna make. I'm not gonna mess with the hardware for this right now. I think it'll work. I think it gives us the park back on this side and then the switch and park here. Okay, but hear me out.
Okay.
I know you were thinking about making a standing desk accessory here, adding something to give you...
I saw these on Etsy. They were like CNC machined plywood, and they all slot together to make a riser.
Okay, that'd be collapsible essentially when you're not using it.
Right. So on the weekends and on travel days, not that we're traveling right now.
Hold on to collapsible when you're not using it. I think I can actuate electrically this whole tabletop to rise up and out a little bit to give you a standing desk.
What? Really?
How about the parts?
Huh.
Imagine this looking stock, actually visual aid here. Imagine this looking stock when we're not using it. But when you want a standing desk, it rising kind of out and up, away from the blinds, of course, out and up, so that it's up here when you need it, and then it parks back when you don't. And we retain all the functionality when we're not using it.
You think we can pull that off? So you're talking about lifting that whole Corey on top?
Yes.
Really?
On glides, risers, actuators? Yes.
You have my attention.
Yeah, we're gonna work on it.
I think it'll be less fiddly than a which I'm totally willing to do, but like a disassemblable.
I'm down for a project. Let's figure it out. Taking stuff up and down is kind of, it's getting old. Just it is. For your job, for our video editing, it'd be nice to have a kind of a dedicated station where we can do this and kind of decomplicate the assembling, disassembling as we try to do different activities here in the Airstream. I actually got 12 volt actuators so that they can run straight off the 12 volt system in the trailer. In theory, we could use them boondocking. The other side of that, I guess I don't know, is how much power that monitor uses if we were to use that boondocking. But we had better power system in the other trailer. We're learning in this one.
Well, we haven't built in our power system yet. We've been focusing on other things, and also the power systems are really expensive.
Yep.
And we have other financial priorities right now.
We do.
So
I've cut this. Pretty happy with how it came out. I'm gonna just put the finished side into the room and the cut side to the wall. I do have another piece of edge band, but I'll worry about that later. For now, I just want to see if I can get this to work with the stand.
Right now, you want to see if you can get this to work with the arm actuation.
Yes, I forgot how words work for a moment there. For the first test, with the hinge on this side, I'm going to see if I can clear the blinds. So there's that. If I kind of carefully take this out, I can steer it around, bring it back in like this. Oops, pop that one. All right, not bad. I need to adjust left to right, but it comes out square like this. It is touching the blinds back here. Yep, it just is kind of touched by, careful that snags. So close.
This may be something that just I have to have it open.
I think we've got a winner here.
So it can be this way.
Yep, working well in both directions. We do want to kind of make some final adjustments to get it kind of perfect and level, but this is going to work. So I think it's time that we move on to the second part of the project. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, let's get in there. I'm just gonna put these in the back. Got to check the backside to see if there's anything else, but most of it is disconnected, I think.
I think the whole unit is disconnected from the wall, and you could probably slide it forward.
That's true. That's the top loose right there.
But I actually think the base is loose too.
Is it? Okay.
So the question I have is I can roll up the carpet, and if we pull the unit into the middle, we can work on it from both sides. That may be an easier way to access things. What do you think?
It is. We've got to figure out what we're going to do with wiring with it raising up, because this is electric.
Yeah.
Lit. And then there's a few other things we've got to figure out where the cords go.
How much do you think this weighs? This is real Corian.
I don't know. It's pretty substantial. I don't think it weighs 100 pounds.
Here, you try.
I'll try. What are you doing?
The LEDs are blinking and strobing on
I
camera.
didn't notice they strobe on camera. Yeah, it's a little bit of rain. It doesn't look quite like that in reality. I can't see the LED flash rate.
How heavy do you think that is?
60 pounds, 50 pounds.
All right.
Yeah, it's substantial for sure.
And the actuators can hold how much weight?
I think it's like 200 pounds. The good news is I think if we can get it to do what we want to do, it's going to feel substantial. It's not going to feel rickety.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. Among other things I need to take apart, if only to eventually put back together, I need to take the rear stops for the drawers back, drawer backs out, and I'm working on that right now. This looks like kind of damage when the Airstream was made. The wood split. Best solution here would be to put a little wood glue in here.
Focus. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There you go, guys.
All right. Best solution would be to to clamp this back with some wood glue in there, and I guess nobody would probably ever know the difference if I did that. To fit this actuator, I'm gonna have to notch out this floor back here, because what I need is enough distance for it to come nearly to vertical. Not quite, but close. I'm definitely engineering this in real time, but I've got one actuator for the back corner here, and then one for the opposite front corner, and we'll have to modify that cabinet afterwards, but I'd like to kind of learn how it's gonna work on this one first.
Well, you can't see any mistakes truly back there, so it is a good place to start.
Good place to start, yeah. Not too loud, huh?
It's not bad.
From the hole to the body of the shock is like 12 1/4, maybe 12 3/8. So if that hole moves down to about 3/8, there we go. That's 12 inches of actuation. Right now I've got one actuator connected, and I'm gonna test it quickly to see kind of what it does. I know this tabletop is gonna be a little floppy without a second one, but we're gonna test it just to see how it does.
And we're gonna support, Andrew and I are gonna support the sides respectively. We just wanna see how it throws.
Yep.
Whew, big doings. Okay, ready?
I'm stressed out.
Me too. Help, I can't do that corner, help.
Sean was holding this a little bit precariously, but what this demonstrates here is that this actuator on this angle is running it up and forward. This is about half the lift that we can get out of this actuator, maybe a little bit less. It's only on one, which means it's just lifting the back corner. We have to manually lift the front. So not ideal, but proof of concept. What do you think?
This is heavy, and I think that you should put it back down.
Okay, I'll do that. Push it towards me, push it towards me, push it towards me, and stop. I've removed the upper part of the wine rack from here, and I'm not sure I need to remove the lower part, but what I'm gonna do next is match the angle of the back one to the one that I'm gonna install in the front. Let me show you how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mount the strut up here, and I'm gonna bring it down, matching the angle that I've copied from the back, and then I'm gonna have to drill through this to mount the base of it about 4 inches below the bottom of this shelf.
It smells like smoke. Is that smoke?
Yes, I think it's the wood. Okay, watch for the hole popping through, because then I'm gonna turn and drill up. Scored, so hopefully it won't crack when I go through. Now we'll just try to go through nice and easy. Yeah. Looks like it was made for that, but it's unfortunately not where it goes.
You're trying to match the angle of that white paper?
I am. I've made this kind of custom piece that goes on the top of the actuator, and the plates bridge between this new piece and the existing plywood underneath the Corian. I needed it to be a little bit wider, and I'm going to screw this up in place. I'll show you when it's done. It's a bit tight to work in here. We've got proof of concept here. It does actuate and go up. Now, because the linear actuators don't have a fixed angle head on them, they want to basically rock and sway. And the fix for that I'm going to try is a ball bearing glide that gives me a fixed angle that it's going to raise up. So I'm going to mount this on an angle, and the linear actuator should push it up and maintain parallel with this installed glide. So the first one of these I'm going to install is off that corner. I guess I'm engineering the design in real time here, and so it's getting on 6:30. I think I'm going to keep working. The light may not facilitate much more filming, but maybe we'll just show you the result in the morning.
That said, we'll just keep filming until we can't film, and then we'll show the progress.
Agreed. There will be progress.
After a little bit of testing, we quickly realized we needed more parts, so we put in an order for them. That's as far as we're going to make it today, guys. We'll see you next weekend. We know your time is valuable. Thank you for being here. I think the whole thing can go backwards a half inch.